The ark. It looked like an ordinary box or tablet, but those who touched it were never the same again. Inside, a power lay hidden, a power that destroyed armies and destroyed cities. Some believe it carries a curse because, wherever it appeared, strange things happened. People fell ill, died, or disappeared. Walls suddenly collapsed, stones cracked, and everything became deadly quiet. And then, one day, it disappeared without a trace. Is it hidden in the dark tunnels of Qudus in Ethiopia or America? Or did the Templars take it? Those who searched for it always hit a wall. Doors were closed, paths were blocked, tunnels filled with earth. But some still believe it is there. And they warn, if you find it, be ready. Because the Ark of the Covenant, it is not just a holy thing, it is also a powerful weapon. In this video, we will explore humanity's greatest secret. Before we start, an important reminder, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you're ready, let's begin. A holy box, said to have incredible powers. It could destroy armies, kill anyone who touched it without permission, and even connect directly to God. Its name is written in the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran. This box, once kept in the holiest room of Solomon's temple, disappeared one day without a trace. The story of the Ark of the Covenant begins, according to the Torah, when Prophet Musa went up Mount Sinai. There, God spoke to him for 40 days. At the end of this meeting, God gave him 2 stone tablets. On these tablets were written God's commands, the 10 Commandments. But it was not just the tablets. God also ordered a special box to keep the tablets, carry them, and serve as the center of his holy presence. This was not just a wish, but a detailed divine plan. God said, "Make a holy place for me so I can be among them." This was the beginning of the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark had to be about 1 meter by 1.5 meters, made of acacia wood, and completely covered with pure gold inside and out. On its 4 corners, golden rings were fixed. Through these rings, long wooden poles were placed, also made of acacia. These poles could never be removed, so no one had to touch the ark itself to carry it. But the most special part of the ark was its cover. The cover, called the mercy seat, was made of pure gold. On it were placed 2 cherubim, winged angel figures facing each other, their wings raised, leaving a holy space between them. In Jewish tradition, this space is called the mercy seat, where God's presence would appear on earth. Musa followed these instructions exactly, and had the ark built. He placed inside it the 2 stone tablets with the 10 Commandments. Later, a golden jar with manna, the miraculous food from the desert, and the staff of Harun which had sprouted, were also placed inside. These 3 items represented God's law, his chosen leadership, and his miraculous provision. But the ark was not just a symbol. It was also very dangerous. It was more than a box. It was a kind of device, and not everyone could carry it. God gave the duty of carrying and guarding the ark to a special tribe, the Levites. But even that was not enough. Only the family of Kohath, from the Levites, could carry it. Even they could not touch it directly. They had to cover it with a special cloth, and keep a distance while carrying it. The area where the ark was kept was also kept at least half a kilometer away from the people. It was inside a special tent. The frame of the tent was made of wood, and its roof was covered with cloth and metal sheets. Only one chosen Levite could enter this tent. Before entering, he wore a long robe of special fabric, a metal plate to cover his chest and private parts, and tied a rope with a small bell on his waist. The bell sound was listened to by those waiting outside. As long as the bell rang, they knew he was alive. If the bell stopped suddenly, it meant he had died, and they would pull his body out with the rope. The ark's power was so strong and dangerous that anyone who went in unprepared might not come out alive. All these precautions show that the ark was not just a holy object. It may have been a real energy source, or even a device that gave off radiation. Stories say people who got too close to it died, either instantly in a flash, or slowly, as if their bodies rotted from inside. These descriptions sound very much like radiation sickness or electric shock. Some even believe the ark was a kind of machine that stored and released radioactive energy. Its gold exterior, which conducts energy, and wooden interior, which insulates, made it like a big energy battery, just like modern power storage systems. And so this box was carried by the Israelites during their 40 years in the desert, under the leadership of Musa. It was not just an object, it was a holy presence that guided their path, faith, and destiny. Where to stop, which way to go, how to face dangers. Everything was decided with it. It was not just a compass in the desert, it was a symbol of power in time. The Ark of the Covenant reached the land of Canaan, the permanent home of the Israelites. Prophet Dawood brought it to Quds, Jerusalem, and began preparations to build a temple. But the temple was built by his son Solomon. Solomon built a great temple dedicated to God and placed the ark in its most inner room, the Holy of Holies, where only the high priest could enter, and only once a year on the Day of Atonement. The high priest wore special clothes to enter. On his chest, he wore armor, decorated with stones, called the judgment plate. When he entered, it is said a vibrating sound came from the space between the cherubim and made the stones on the plate glow. This was seen as a sign that he was speaking with God. From that moment, the Ark of the Covenant became more than a holy object. It became a point of divine contact, a guide and a protector. But this power was not forever, because history brought destruction again. In 505 BCE, the Babylonian king, Nebuchadnezzar, attacked Quds. Solomon's temple was destroyed, and the Israelites were sent into exile. From that day, the Ark of the Covenant was never seen again. No Babylonian records or later Jewish texts gave any clear answer about what happened to it. It simply vanished. Was it stolen, hidden, or did God take it back himself? This mystery made the Ark not just a part of history, but also an immortal secret in humanity's memory. The Ark of the Covenant was not just a holy relic, it was a center of power that became a guide, a shield, and even a weapon. Before its place in the Temple of Quds, it traveled with the people in the desert. Its protection was not only spiritual. The Israelites noticed that wherever the Ark was, they were truly protected. There were moments when the Ark even changed the course of. One of the most striking events happened in the city of Jericho. After their long journey in the desert, the Israelites moved toward the land God promised them. But they faced Jericho, a city surrounded by giant walls. The walls were so thick that breaking them seemed impossible. But God sent a command through the Ark. For 6 days they would walk around the city in silence. On the 7th day they would blow trumpets and shout loudly. And so they did. The Israelite warriors stood behind the Ark. They marched around the walls for 7 days as commanded. On the morning of the 7th day the trumpets sounded and the warriors shouted as one. In that moment, it was not just the sound of people that was heard. It is said that a strange vibration came from the Ark and filled the air. This vibration shook the city walls as if an earthquake had struck. The huge towers cracked, the stone walls fell to the ground, the walls of Jericho collapsed in an instant. Those who saw it believed this power came directly from God, rising from the Ark. But some say it was not just a divine miracle, but also a show of advanced technology. They believe the walls collapsed because they resonated at a certain frequency, just like how modern high-frequency oscillators work today. These stories bring up an important question. If the Ark of the Covenant was only a holy symbol, how could it have such a strong physical effect? Or did God give it only as a spiritual sign? Or did he design it as an actual device? This question became even more mysterious with another event years later. After Jericho, the Israelites and the Philistines fought again. This time the Israelites lost the battle, and the Ark was captured by the enemy. The Philistines saw it as a great prize and placed it in the center of their city. But then strange things began to happen. At first, skin diseases spread among the people. Then a mysterious sickness called fast aging appeared. People's skin blistered, their bodies rotted from the inside, and they died. The Philistines believed this was a curse from God because wherever they placed the Ark, the same sickness followed. Every time they moved it to another city, the same thing happened again. Desperate, They looked for a way to get rid of the ark. At last, they placed it on a cart pulled by oxen and sent it back to the Israelites. The cart arrived in the village of Beth Shemesh. The people there celebrated with joy when they saw the ark return, but some of them broke the rules and looked directly at the ark. It is said that, at that moment, 70 of them died instantly. Even though they were Israelites, this event showed something very clear. It was not just about faith or identity. It was about following the rule. Because the Ark of the Covenant was not just a symbol, it carried a real power. And approaching it unprepared brought death, no matter who you were. The Ark was given back to the Levites. They performed the proper rituals and took special precautions to protect it. This event made people question everything they thought they knew about the Ark. The idea that it carried an unknown energy became even stronger. This energy might have been radioactive, electric, or even both. But one thing was sure, the Ark was built with a power far beyond its time. At this point, another striking story appears in the Torah. There is an event where Harun's two sons, Nadav and Avihu, approached the Ark in a way God did not command. They entered the holy area unprepared and without permission. Then two bright sparks came out of the Ark and struck them through their noses, making them fall to the ground. From the outside, their bodies showed no wounds or burns, but their organs seemed to have been cooked from the inside. Both of them died there. This detail shows that the Ark was not only spiritual, it also carried a very real, very physical, and very dangerous energy. Its destructive power often did not come from direct touch, but from a force building up inside and striking from a distance. Maybe it was a wave of energy, maybe heavy radiation, maybe an electromagnetic pulse. No one knows. But one thing is clear. The Ark was not just a holy box holding stone tablets. It was something carefully built, carefully protected, and deadly if misused. And its secret was not just in owning it, but in truly understanding it. For centuries, the Ark of the Covenant stayed hidden. It became more than a holy relic. It became a symbol of loss, mystery, and the chance it could return at any time. Over time, the question "where is" grew bigger, changed shape, and became an obsession, spreading from archaeologists to spies, from monks to secret societies. Some believe the Ark was secretly lowered into tunnels under Quds, Jerusalem, just before Solomon's temple was destroyed. The ground under the temple was like a maze. For years, these tunnels were searched, but no trace was found. Until 2007, when a hidden passage opening to the Kidron Valley was discovered. It was claimed that this passage stretched all the way to Qumran, where the Dead Sea Scrolls were kept. And here comes another detail: the Copper Scroll. This scroll was not holy writings. It was a treasure map. It described 64 hidden places full of gold, silver, and even the Ark of the Covenant, said to have been taken from Solomon's temple. Researcher Jim Barfield identified some of these spots. Metal detectors gave strange signals and the tunnel network became clearer. But at every step, the excavations were stopped. Cave entrances were sealed with concrete and research was blocked. Yet the signals whispered that the Ark might still be there somewhere. Not everyone, however, believes it is still in Quds, Jerusalem. Some say the Ark was already moved centuries ago by one of the most mysterious groups of the Middle Ages, the Knights Templar. During the Crusades, the Templars came to Quds, Jerusalem, and dug under the Temple Mount for years. Then suddenly they returned to Europe with great wealth and knowledge. Legends say they found the Ark and secretly took it to France, then to Scotland and even to America. Some even believe it is still hidden today in a secret chamber on Oak Island. Another strong claim points to Ethiopia. Old texts say Solomon's son from the Queen of Sheba took the real Ark from Quds, Jerusalem, leaving a copy behind, and brought the original to Ethiopia. Today it is said that a monastery by Lake Tana in Ethiopia guards a mysterious box. Only one monk is allowed to see it. This monk has no contact with the outside world and stays by the box for the rest of his life. In fact, almost every church in Ethiopia has a symbolic copy of the Ark of the Covenant. For the people, this is not just a legend, it is an unquestionable truth. And among all these theories, the most unusual one comes from Japan. Every year during Shinto rituals on the peak of Mount Tsurugi, a special golden box is carried. According to Japanese belief, this box holds the spirit and secret of God. Interestingly, many clear similarities have been found between Japanese mythology and the texts of the Torah. Some researchers believe these similarities show that the Ark may have once been taken to faraway lands. This theory was so strongly believed that in the 1930s, Japanese archaeologists carried out long excavations on Mount Tsurugi, but in the end, they found nothing. Later, the area was declared a national park, and all digging was banned. Yet, the questions have never gone away. Still, some believe the Ark never left Quds, Jerusalem. It might still be there, hidden under the ruins of the temple, in the shadow of the Dome of the Rock. In 1981, Israel's highest religious authority, Rabbi Yehuda Getz, secretly started a dig to confirm this theory. While digging underground, strange noises were heard. Muslim guards at the temple noticed the work. The incident grew. The police were called, and the dig was stopped. The tunnel was sealed. Years later, Getz said, "We were only a few meters away. The Ark was there, but we could not finish." All these theories, stories, and traces show that the Ark of the Covenant is not just a thing of the past, it is also a great symbol for the future. In Jewish belief, the return of the Ark will signal the building of the third temple and God's return to earth. This is seen as the beginning of the end times. In Christian belief, this event is connected to the second coming of the Messiah. And in Islamic belief, it is said that the Ark will reappear with the coming of the Mahdi, and divine order will return to the world. So the Ark of the Covenant is not just a symbol of the past, but also of the future. For some, its discovery is a hope. For others, it is a threat. Some see it as the restoration of humanity's bond with God. Others believe it holds the power to bring humanity's destruction. But maybe the real question is not where the Ark is, but what it represents. As a symbol of justice, mercy, loyalty, and faith, the Ark of the Covenant carries not only stone tablets and golden ornaments, but also the ancient bond between humanity and God. We have come to the end of another video. See you in the next.